Welcome back to the Imperfect Dollar. I'm Brittany. Do you remember during the pandemic when a lot of the stores would get sold out of items like peroxide, rubbing alcohol, mask, and we would be searching for which store had these items. As soon as these stores would restock up on these items, they would be sold out immediately. Well, you should start to expect to see this happen again, unfortunately, because tariffs are blocking China's exports. Over 60% of Americans are borrowing just to get by, and mass layoffs are hitting major shipping companies. A major supply crunch is brewing, and it could hit your shopping hard. Here's what you need to know so you can protect yourself and your family. I'm going to give you some actionable tips today, but let's talk about what's been going on first. As of May 2025, the escalating trade tensions between the United States and China have significantly disrupted global shipping and supply chains. President Trump's administration has imposed a series of tariffs on Chinese imports, culminating in a combined rate of up to 145% on certain goods. These measures have led to a sharp decline in container shipments from China to the US, with the Port of Los Angeles reporting a surge in empty or blank sailings. That means that they are not shipping a lot of things to the US that we need. And a lot of businesses are not going to get what they need. And even if these shipments are reaching the US ports, a lot of businesses in America cannot afford to pay those increased tariffs. Because where does those tariffs go? To the businesses first, and then they go to the consumer. You and I, we have to pay those increased costs. So, in retaliation, China has raised its tariffs on US goods to as high as 125%. This is what we're going to have to pay. And it has halted exports of critical materials like rare earth magnets, which are essential for various high tech industries.
There really is nowhere to escape. 100% of effectively 100% of Apple's products sold in the U.S. will be tariffed at a pretty exorbitant rate right.
So we are definitely going to suffer when it comes to technology as well, because we're going to be missing some of the essential components that we need for those electronics. This tit for tat not only strained bilateral trade, but has caused ripple effects across global supply chains, leading to increased costs and uncertainty for businesses, not just in America, but worldwide.
For example, Vietnam is the second largest producer of coffee in the world. They were facing, I think, 46% tariffs. So for my peers in the industry who runs, some amazing Vietnamese coffee brands, I'm glad for them that that's been held back. But across the board, whether it's glass bottles or coffee, the 90-day period is, it's a good initial step, I guess, but it doesn't really give enough time for small businesses to make the adjustments we need. Ultimately, China is not the only place to make glass bottles or to buy glass bottles. But I don't have the widespread capabilities in the supply chain to immediately move my procurement of those products to a different place.
The impact on consumers is becoming increasingly evident. Major retailers, including Walmart and Target, have warned of potential product shortages and price hikes, particularly as the holiday shopping season approaches. Additionally, the elimination of the de minimis exemption for Chinese goods under $800 has further complicated the import process, affecting e commerce platforms like Temu and Shein. Now, we've already talked about this with the Walmart CEO, how he had a meeting with Trump at the White House and expressed his concerns along with other top retail executives how these tariffs are going to affect the consumer, that is going to cause increased costs to the consumer. So now we already are dealing with this because we can see that prices have started to increase at Walmart and Target. Some of them just by a few pennies, but they're going to start to increase more and more as the demand increases, but we have short supply. Because if there is high demand for a product and there's short supply, well, then the retailer can easily charge us a lot more because we want that product. There's not a lot of it. And we kind of have almost no choice but to purchase it, especially if we need it. Okay. And I'm talking about things like rice, like vegetables, like meat. We need these things to survive. So we're going to have no choice. But don't worry, as I get towards the end of the video, stay tuned for that. I'm going to share some actionable tips with you that's going to help you to get through these tough times. Now that I've explained how and why the tariffs are going to affect us the most as consumers, you should have a better understanding of why grocery prices are increasing and why prices are increasing for other items that you want to buy as well. Now, there may be some stores that you also shop at online, like Temu, Shein, and Amazon, which is a huge US retailer. Temu and Shein, even though they are Chinese based, they ship a lot to the US. My daughter even shops at Shein. I don't, but she loves it. And there were a few times in the past that I shopped at Temu. Now, if you are still using these stores, you should be aware of their price increases. Temu alone last year reached approximately $70 billion in sales, and approximately 45% of their sales last year, that 70 billion, were US sales. And then Shein earned approximately $38 billion in revenue last year, and about one third, so 30%, 33% was from US sales alone. That's a lot of our money going into these Chinese based companies, and then those items are getting shipped over here. So Temu has implemented a 145% import charge on many items, leading to substantial price hikes. For instance, a product previously priced at $34 now costs $83. And another item that was $119 has risen to $273. The company has begun prominently displaying these import taxes at checkout, a move interpreted by some as a political statement amidst the ongoing tensions. Shein has similarly raised prices, with some items experiencing increases of 91%. A set of swimwear, for example, went from $4.39 to $8.39. Now, that may not sound like a lot, but if you think about items that cost more, maybe at Shein something costs $40. If it goes up about 90%, which is really almost 100%, that doubles the amount that it originally was. So $40 might go up to about $75 to $80. That's a big increase. The company has attributed these hikes to increased operating costs resulting from new tariffs and the closure of the de minimis loophole. Shein stated on its website in April 2025, due to the recent changes in global trade rules and tariffs, our operating expenses have gone up. To keep offering the products you love without compromising on quality, we will be making price adjustments starting April 25th, 2025. These developments have led to customer complaints about the diminishing affordability of products on both platforms. Additionally, both Temu and Shein have reduced their US advertising efforts, resulting in a decline in their App Store rankings. Let's take a closer look at how the backbone of America's shipping industry is being shaken. The U.S. logistics and transportation sectors are experiencing significant disruptions due to the recent trade policies, particularly the imposition of new tariffs.
Now it's your Morning Money Report. UPS is looking to slash about 20,000 jobs and close dozens of facilities. It's cutting down on the number of Amazon packages it delivers. The company plans to make the job cuts this year.
UPS aims to save $3.5 billion through these measures, although it anticipates incurring $400 to $500 million in related expenses. The trucking industry, a critical component of the US supply chain, is also facing challenges. Companies like Mack Trucks have announced layoffs of 250 to 350 workers at their Pennsylvania facility, citing decreased demand and economic uncertainty linked to the tariffs. Similarly, Volvo Trucks North America plans to cut 700 jobs early next year as a part of a broader production slowdown. The cumulative effect of these developments is a strained logistics network with reduced shipping volumes and increased operational costs. The tariffs have disrupted traditional trade flows, leading to decreased imports and exports, which in turn affect freight demand. As companies adjust to these new economic realities, further layoffs and restructuring within the transportation and logistics sectors are anticipated. What does this mean? A lot more truckers are going to get laid off. A lot of people that work in certain factories or certain shipping companies are going to get laid off because they won't need as many people because the demand is slowing down from importing items from overseas because again the businesses cannot afford to pay these tariffs. So it's all going to slow down, and because it's going to slow down, these shipping companies are not going to be able to afford to pay these workers that are also not going to be shipping as many items. They're going to have to look for new jobs. It's really going to hurt them the most because how are they also going to, at the same time, pay these higher prices on goods and services that they're going to need for their personal lives if they don't have a job? I'm sure that you like to comparison shop like I do because it will allow you to get the best bang for your buck, especially if you're going to buy an item that is going to be on the pricier side. For example, you might go to Burlington Coat Factory or Walmart and look at the price of a coat that you want to buy, and then go online to Amazon.com or another website to see if you can get that same coat for a cheaper price. Now, Amazon is a big retailer, and Jeff Bezos, the founder, has been in the news and has been criticized by the Trump administration because he wanted to do something that they felt was hostile. So let's take a look at what's been going on with Amazon. Amazon is navigating a complex landscape shaped by President Trump's recent tariffs on Chinese imports, which have significantly impacted the company's operations and strategic decisions. Despite reporting better than expected first quarter earnings in 2025, Amazon now faces challenges due to increased costs and shifting consumer behaviors. The company has announced plans to cut approximately 14,000 managerial positions by early 2025, aiming to save between $2.1 billion and $3.6 billion annually. That's a lot of money. This move reflects Amazon's efforts to streamline operations and adapt to the evolving economic environment. A significant point of contention arose when reports suggested that Amazon planned to display tariff related price increases on its website, particularly on its discount platform Haul. This initiative was met with criticism from the White House, with President Trump personally calling Amazon founder Jeff Bezos to express his concerns.
Since I just got off the phone with the president about Amazon's announcement, this is a hostile and political act by Amazon. It's not a surprise because, as Reuters recently wrote, Amazon has partnered with a Chinese propaganda arm. So this is another reason why Americans should buy American.
Following this intervention, Amazon retracted the plan, clarifying that the idea was never approved for implementation on its main site. So I found that very interesting that they retracted their plan and then said that it was never approved to begin with because President Trump called the founder. I think they got a little bit nervous and scared, and they were worried about what may happen to their business if they went against the Trump administration. But that's just speculation on my part. Either way, you can tell that Amazon is feeling the pinch as well with the new tariffs, and they're going to have some price increases. So they might not have as good competitive pricing as they did before because they are going to have to raise the prices on a lot of their items that are imported from China. Now, the broader implications of these developments are evident in Amazon's logistics partnerships. They have a partnership with UPS, which I talked about earlier. Remember that UPS announced its plan to cut approximately 20,000 jobs and close 73 facilities by mid 2025. That affects Amazon, who does a lot of shipping, especially with its Prime shipping. Amazon Prime has its 2-day shipping that it's known for, that everyone pays that extra fee for. It's like $100 or $120 per year, depending on when you started your contract with them. They pay this extra money so that way they can get things right away, really quickly. But with UPS cutting back, that is going to be a problem for them. I wonder if the Amazon Prime shipping program is going to last. It's going to be pretty difficult for Amazon to keep up with, I'm assuming, or they're going to have to work with another company. But a lot of the companies that work in the US that do shipping are going to be going through the same dilemma. Okay, so with everything that's happening right now, between the shifts with Amazon and the rise of sites like Shein and Temu, the trucking slowdowns and the changes around the Chinese imports, it's no surprise that we're starting to feel it in our wallets. Prices are creeping up, shipping might slow down, and some of our everyday essentials could get harder to find. But here's the thing, even though we can't control what's happening on the global stage, we can get really intentional about how we spend and plan at home. Now I'm going to share with you some actionable things that you can do to protect your budget and your family, no matter what's going to happen next. It's time to explore local businesses in your area, thrift shops, and Facebook marketplaces. Take a look at all the secondhand stores online or the brick and mortar ones that are in your area as well. This is going to allow you to get better prices, especially on clothes or even things like pots or shoes, things that you need, but that you can get a better price on that may be gently used. You should even try to join some buy nothing groups online because that will allow you to get some items for free. And sometimes you'll exchange a newer item that is slightly used for an item that you're no longer using anymore. You can give that to someone else that can use that item because you're not using it any longer. And now you'll have a new item that you know that you need. Learn to repair and do it yourself. When it comes to your clothes, appliances, and furniture, I want you to learn how to mend them and how to repair them. This way, you don't have to pay someone to repair your appliance or fix your furniture. You can just repair it and take care of it yourself. The same thing goes for your clothes. I talked about it in an earlier video. Just learn how to sew little things like a button or a hem, or if a little hole appears, you're able to just mend it and repair it so that way you can continue to allow your clothes to last longer and you don't have to get rid of them. If you don't track your spending, it's time to start because then you will really see the difference in prices for items. And that'll make it easier for you to compare and get the best price for certain things. You can use apps like Every Dollar or YNAB, which is You Need a Budget, or you can even use an Excel spreadsheet or just a plain notebook, pen and paper, and write it down. Either way, I want you to keep track of what you're spending. This way, you can see the differences and then you can make the best choice when it comes to your spending. In addition to tracking your spending and tracking how prices are increasing over time, especially with groceries, I want you to also consider pausing subscriptions. Any subscriptions that you may have, streaming apps, deliveries, anything that is reoccurring that may be increasing as well and it's not essential, it may be time to pause it and then eventually cancel it if you really don't have the extra money to spend on it. Nowadays, most people don't even know their neighbor. But if you do know your neighbors, then it's time to possibly see if you can carpool with a neighbor to and from work. That can save you both some money on gas and transportation. Or if maybe you and your husband want to go out for a date night, or you and your spouse want to go out for a date night, but you have to worry about who's going to watch your kids, and you don't want to spend money for a babysitter because that's probably going to increase as well. Maybe your neighbors can watch your kids for an hour or two, and then if they want to go out or go on a date night, you can watch their children as well. You can exchange services with each other to make sure that you're not spending as much in those areas. Even though prices are creeping up and shipping is slowing down, you can still hit the like button for free. So go ahead, hit that like button if you found value in today's video. And don't forget to subscribe as well if you haven't subscribed already. Let me know in the comments below which tip you're going to try to help you to be more intentional when it comes to your spending and protecting your family. Also, let me know in the comments below what you're most concerned about when it comes to everything that's happening with the US economy and the world today. I'll see you guys next time. Be sure to check out this video next. If you missed it, it's time to watch it. I'm sure you're going to like it. Take care.